Zegler, Rachel. The internet has never been my best fan, but lately it seems like I can't catch a break. It seems like she's making some poor decisions after the Snow White debacle, and now her supposed comeback film, an independent feature titled She Gets It From Me, is reportedly already in trouble. According to multiple sources close to the production, filming isn't exactly going according to plan, and crew members are speculating that Hart's behavior is contributing to the project's potential spiral out of control. Rachel is once again on her way out. This is becoming par for the course. She takes on a high-profile film, makes headlines for all the wrong reasons, and then, all of a sudden, things begin to go wrong on set. Anyone who followed the Snow White drama will recognize this pattern. Supposedly, everyone is dealing with a plethora of problems due to schedule conflicts, manufacturing delays, and unseen tensions. Some reports even suggest key scenes are being rearranged because of conflicts or last-minute changes related to Zegler's involvement, making certain aspects of production logistically complicated. Let's be real, after tanking Snow White with her smug press tour and those painfully toned interviews, you'd think she'd approach this new opportunity with at least an ounce of humility, but instead she's back in the spotlight acting like the rules don't apply to her. Reason we had Rachel Zegler on the docket is she's in now. The indie film that was supposed to help rebuild her reputation is showing early warning signs of falling apart. If these delays continue, it won't just be another bad look, it could potentially end her career for good. This time the irony is pretty hard to miss. Rachel Zegler, who was once on the verge of superstardom, now finds herself embroiled in controversy even in small indie films. Her story was supposed to be grounded and character-driven, like an actress trying to prove her range and make a comeback. However, her recent behavior makes even this project feel more like a PR stunt than real redemption, and fans aren't buying it. Online forums and social media are flooded with skepticism. People aren't just doubting the film, they're actively rooting against it, and that's not because of the story itself, but because Zegler's name is plastered all over the poster. Why all the backlash? Because she burned almost every bridge with audiences during the Snow White rollout. Control. Rachel didn't even seem like she cared or liked the source material. That is just far from a graceful Disney princess-like promotion. It's far from what you would think Disney wanted. Instead of selling the magic, she mocked it. Instead of respecting the legacy of the character, she trashed the original film as outdated and irrelevant. Disney fans who grew up loving these fairy tales felt completely betrayed by her attitude, and let's not forget the political undertones. Her statements weren't just off-putting, they were downright antagonistic. She managed to alienate half the country in under 30 seconds with her now infamous Trump supporters. "We'll never know." Peace remark that's not bold, that's just reckless for someone trying to promote a family film. So now she's pivoting to indie work, but just because the budget is smaller doesn't mean the scrutiny is. In fact, in some ways it's worse. Independent film crews don't have massive PR teams to clean up messes. If Zegler is being difficult behind the scenes again, those cracks are going to show up fast, and the public has proven they're more than willing to hold her accountable at this point. No one's wondering if the film will be good, they're wondering how much longer the industry is going to pretend Rachel Zegler is worth all this trouble. The backlash to Zegler's involvement, and She Gets It From Me, isn't just online noise, is having real-world consequences, reportedly creating serious headaches for the production itself. According to industry chatter, there's concern brewing among the film's crew. The whispers of tension are growing louder, from scheduling headaches to unexpected production delays. Rachel Zegler seems to be the common thread once again, and it's getting harder to ignore that something is wrong. So is it new behavior? Either ask anyone who followed the Snow White fiasco. That film didn't collapse just because of a bad script or uninspired visuals. It collapsed because its lead actress couldn't stop stepping on rakes, whether it was mocking the original fairy tale, brushing off fan criticism, or making sweeping political statements during press junkets. Zegler consistently turned every PR opportunity into a potential disaster, and now it looks like those same self-destructive habits may be leading into this new project as well. What's especially frustrating is that the studio behind She Gets It From Me, Embankment, is relatively small. They don't have the cushion of a Disney-sized budget or a Marvel-tier fan base. They were likely betting on this project as a charming, low-risk film with critical appeal. Instead, they've found themselves tied to an actress whose reputation is radioactive. Even before a single frame of the movie hits theaters, its potential is being swallowed up by Zegler's baggage and the growing online movement calling for a boycott of anything she touches. What should have been a low drama The high-reward chance is already going down the toilet, and Embankment is scared that they might find out too late that they cast someone with a permanently damaged public image. This time, the consequences won't be abstract. They'll be real, measurable, and terrible. This was supposed to be Zegler's chance for a fresh start, a character-driven indie film starring a respected co-star like Marika To. It was meant to be a character-driven picture that would help her rebuild her damaged reputation. Instead, it's looking like just another chapter in her self-destructive story. Despite To's consistent professional public persona, rumors have circulated that tensions exist between the two protagonists and behind the scenes as well. It must be challenging to perform on stage with someone as divisive as Zegler. It's clear that there's a gulf between the two characters. To has worked hard to establish a reputation for being friendly, collaborative, and talented, while Zegler appears to be a magnet for conflict. Whether it's impasses on set or interview soundbites that go bad with time, drama follows Zegler like a shadow. And this is happening even before the trailer drops. Typically, independent films like this one don't get much attention until festival buzz starts, but Zegler's presence ensures that this one will get attention, but for all the wrong reasons. Online forums are already dissecting every leaked set photo and casting update looking for evidence of dysfunction. Some fans who once supported her have flipped entirely, saying they're done giving her second chances. Others never came back after the Snow White debacle, yet here she is again potentially dragging down another film before it has a chance to breathe. If Zegler's goal was to reset her career, she's off to a terrible start. This was supposed to be her moment of redemption. Instead it's looking like more of the same, more chaos, more backlash, and more damage to clean up. At the center of all this is a question that just won't go away. Why does Rachel Zegler keep getting roles for someone with a growing list of underwhelming performances and an even longer list of PRD? Many find it perplexing that she has managed to maintain her influence in Hollywood despite the fallout from her involvement in Snow White. The film was a cultural embarrassment as well as a financial failure, and Zegler took full responsibility for her handling of the press, fans, and the story's legacy. Now, as the release of her next project draws near, you would think she would be careful not to repeat her mistakes, but she appears oblivious to the optics. Meanwhile, production insiders are speculating about multiple delays, and she continues to shrug her shoulders in response. The official version states that everything is going according to plan, but when a pattern begins to emerge, for example, when Zegler joins the project, things start to go wrong. It becomes difficult to accept that this is only a coincidence. Even her defenders are finding it hard to spin the narrative. They argue that she's young, still learning, deserving of grace, but how many chances can one person burn through before studios start seeing her as a liability rather than an asset? Talent can open doors, but at some point accountability keeps them open, and right now Zegler seems determined to test just how many doors Hollywood is willing to keep unlocking for her. This isn't about one film anymore, it's about the ripple effect every new controversy chips away at the goodwill the industry once had for her, and with every project she touches turning into a headline-generating circus, that well of goodwill is running dry fast. It's not just insiders feeling the burn, it's the audience too. Fans, former fans, and even casual moviegoers are starting to clock the pattern. A Rachel Zegler project drops, then the drama follows, then the delays, then the awkward interviews, then like clockwork the social media storm, and now even before she gets it from me, his rap production. Some corners of the internet are already predicting disaster. They're not even asking if things will go wrong anymore, they're just waiting for the moment. Unfortunately, Zegler's past comments about Snow White's classic romance, her insults to the original story while promoting the reboot, and her condescending attitude toward audiences are all still fresh in people's minds. Now she's gone viral for all the wrong reasons. What Zegler doesn't seem to grasp is this: people don't like being lectured by someone who hasn't earned their trust, especially when that someone is starring in remakes of the very classics they grew up loving. It comes off as smug, it comes off as ungrateful, and worst of all, it alienates the very fans she's supposed to win over. Now as she gets it from me, she's supposedly playing the daughter of a chaotic, rebellious ex-punk rocker. Mom is a smaller, edgier indie project that in theory could have helped Zegler reset a clean slate, a chance to show depth and vulnerability, but the vibes around the set are already tense, the press coverage already skeptical, and the online conversation brutal. People are circling this film like vultures, just waiting to see if it crumbles under the same pressure Snow White did, and if it does, Zegler won't just be blamed for ruining a fairy tale, she'll be the one dragging down an entire production again. The worst part is that Zegler doesn't seem to be adjusting. If anything, she's doubling down. There's a difference between having confidence and being delusional, and right now she's walking that line with a blindfold on. After Snow White tanked harder than anyone expected, most stars would have gone quiet, regrouped, maybe even issued a heartfelt acknowledgement of how things unfolded, but Zegler, she's booking roles, posting with smug energy, and jumping right into the next spotlight without ever taking a moment to reflect. That kind of attitude doesn't read as resilience, it reads as arrogance. Let's be real, Snow White wasn't just a flop, it was a warning shot. Disney spent nearly $270 million on the film, and it is still reportedly $96 million in the red. The movie had many problems behind the scenes, but Zegler's behavior caused more damage than any other actor could have imagined. Her interviews were not only awkward, but alienating. Her attacks on traditional values came across as dismissive, not revolutionary. As a result, audiences did what studios fear most: they stayed home and watched the film. She learns it from me while I'm moving. Rumor has it that Zegler's patience is wearing thin on set. Not in a dramatic sense, but there's a general air of tension that makes everyone uncomfortable. The rumor mill is full of stories about her ego and the fact that this is an independent project, so there's less padding and less organization. Everyone from the director to the crew to the financiers will feel the effects of her scene-making if she does it. This is her comeback, but from the outside it seems like the same Zegler circus, only in a different tent. Zegler's apparent estrangement from the industry that supported her in the past has only made matters worse. Hollywood is always up for a comeback, but it can get short with performers who bring more drama than talent. It seems like studios are closely watching her every move, and it's not in a good way. This isn't about giving someone a second chance, it's about taking a chance on someone who has already lost the house and acts as if the dealer owes her a favor. Everyone from the crew to the producers to the press is skeptical. The coverage surrounding her isn't enthusiastic, it's cautious. Words like "taught support" and "proven," "post Now White," and "risk adjacent casting translation" reflect this.